we reused the stage, which was actually super cool. But anyway, yeah, let's, I'll see. You know, I kind of do enjoy just jumping back in and kind of getting my feet wet in KSP. So I will switch both categories over to science and technology, and I will, aft cargo carrier, please. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because, yeah, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about what we want. Think about what I want to do. I haven't flown anything in space in KSP in such a long time. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Just gonna go take a piss and go check on Bree and the dog. I'll be back in a little bit. Hey, Flask, what's going on, man? You're catching me just between segments. I will be back momentarily. Some may wonder why, but it's gone, everything you've done. But I mean, serve your queen. Some may wonder why. But it's gone, everything you've done. But it's gone. All right, we ready to go? No, I'm not ready to go. Let's see what's going on in the space news area. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing well? Just saw that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's where we'll start. Okay, so there is going to be a press conference tomorrow at 12:30. We will be covering it. Absolutely. We're going to cover it, and yeah, we're going to see what's going on. This press conference will be regarding, let me take a look. NASA to provide crew flight test space station missions update. NASA will host a media teleconference at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 7th to discuss ongoing International Space Station operations, including the agency's crew flight test and NASA's Crew 9 mission. Ken, Steve, and Dana Weigel. Oh, I'm sure that's going to be real fun. I'm sure this is going to be great. I'm sure the questions will be totally impartial, and the press will take a genuine interest in the fault tree analysis that Boeing is doing regarding Starliner. I guarantee you. You should press star 1 and ask a question. I'm not accredited media, dude. Sorry, I needed an extra scoop of goldfish. I was hungry today for some reason. So, that comes on the heels of the Crew 9 launch announcement, which went to late September. Crew 9 is not going to launch until the 24th. I'll see what happens, 415. Good eye, Bandit. Thank you. So it seems like they're shifting everything one direction or another. Before NASA released that announcement, the Burgernator posted this one. The burger and fries here. NASA will announce this afternoon that Crew 9 is slipping to net September 24th. No decisions have been made yet on when or how of Starliner's return. Administrator Senator Representative Nelson tells me you will have the final say on how Butch and Sonny come home. Does that usually come down to the administrator? No. Not really. No. That really comes down to the flight controllers, with that are backed up with good flight rationale, like what Wayne Hale's talking about yesterday in his blog post. Yeah, no, not really. At least not to my knowledge. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I don't know. Hey, Ren. Perseverance, wishing, curiosity, a happy land anniversary. What is this? So yeah, that's what we got. We got that press conference tomorrow, and yeah, there you go. Happy land anniversary, 12 years ago. Jeez. Yeah, Adam Stelzner. That guy's cool, man. If they made baseball cards of famous people from NASA, his baseball card would be very, very popular. That's cool. Anyway, it also is August 6th. It's the anniversary or day of remembrance of
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Not 12 years feeling old yet. I remember watching that, dude. Hey, 16 Sierra. Hey, man, sounds crazy, but Subnautica playthrough worthy? You should play it. I'm not going to. I don't like underwater games. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's the anniversary of the Hiroshima bombing. So, you know, that's good. Yeah, August 6th, 1945, the Enola Gay dropped a uranium, not an implosion, uranium gun barrel design atomic weapon. And it was one of the only times that, and 2 days later, Nagasaki, those are the only two times a nuclear exchange has ever happened during a war. Yeah. Important to remember. The plane is less than 5 miles away. Important to remember those dates. Play Hearts of Iron then? I don't know. Maybe after the press conference tomorrow, maybe we should maybe we'll play Hearts tomorrow. I don't know, dude. Kind of down for whatever. Ever happened, period. Yeah, well. Gatling, Mr. Gatling, when he invented the Gatling gun, theorized that, you know, making a weapon that's, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was a pacifist. He theorized in the 19th century that making a weapon that's so incredibly bad, a deterrent, would be the right move because people wouldn't want to fight against it because you'll instantly get killed. And he thought the Gatling gun was that. Oh boy, I don't think that guy realized the box that he opened. But anyway, yeah, don't really think. Yeah, you were right. Your mind's in the right place, but no. Yeah. But we did eventually reach that, and on this is why we celebrate that day, because yeah, we got to that point. More like creating tomorrow's problems today. Yeah, with Gatling. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the surrender, Japan's unconditional surrender was on August 15th, if I'm remembering right, marking the end of hostilities in World War II, but not the end of World War II. Technically, the unconditional surrender was signed on September 2nd, 1945. That means World War II went from September 1st, 1939 to September 2nd, 1945. 6 years of fun. No. So, yeah. There you go. Important to remember these dates, guys. I always make it a thing to explain this stuff. It's yeah, it's important. Anyway, let's see, what else do we got? So here's some cool stuff. Andy Lapsa, who is the CEO and co-founder of Stoke, posted this. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this is probably gonna get loud. So yeah, headphone users. Yeah, this is probably gonna get loud. It's probably gonna get loud. Yep. Well, that's pretty neat. Look at that thing. That's that engine is not throttled all the way up. You're getting some gnarly turbulence here in the flow. This is probably a very they're not testing it to full thrust rating here. Oh yeah. Instantly up to chamber pressure. Look at that thing. Oh yeah. It's throttled down, Hellfish. It's throttled down and they don't have their mixture right. The mixture is off. It's close, but it's a little off. That happens during testing. Yeah, you do that a lot. You just mess around with it. The light at the end of the tunnel. Don't go towards the light. Yeah, you're getting a pretty damn turbulent flow here because, yeah, it's a developmental engine. But still cool, or at least I think it is. Suction testing is one of the most exciting phases of engine development program since we intentionally drive the pumps to the onset of cavitation. See what I mean? Throttle down. Or is that the reverse of that? You could get cavitation with... Interesting. Opportunity to learn. It's important to know where that limit is, but cavitation can very quickly lead to an engine run. Happy to report awesome results with better than expected margin, including this test which drove the engine all over the operating box. Interesting. It's not throttled down. I was wrong. They're spinning the pumps super fast? Funny how Stoke got their engine to work before Rocket Lab. And Stoke's engine is more complicated than Archimedes. Why is that funny? Rocket Lab is busy launching stuff into space. I don't understand. Why is that funny? They're testing for pump cavitation. Interesting. What is a RUD? Rapid Unplanned Disassembly. Explosion. Suction testing is one of the most exciting phases of any engine's development since we intentionally drive the pumps on the onset of cavitation. Huh. I haven't heard anything in years about that, Zarek. Interesting. Now I'm thinking like maybe one of the pumps is turned all the way up and the other one isn't, because they're definitely, the mixture is definitely screwed up because the colors of the flames. I think. I'm not sure. Now I gotta go look. Unless they test cavitation with low RPM, because this, once again, guys, that engine looks like it's throttled down. What is this used for fuel? This is a methane engine. Sweet. I'm not sure. There's an opportunity to learn here, Hellfish. Here, let me get the book. Let me get the book out. Let me check. Turbo pump. Give me 1 second. Opportunity to learn. I bet ChatGPT knows. Yeah, great. Rely on AI to do all your work for you. I'm sure that makes for good streaming content, huh? One moment. Open up your rocket propulsion books to page 69. Pump net positive suction head, NPSH, allowing static pressure of fluid at the pump inlet or any regions within the pump to drop below the local fluid vapor pressure level will cause these regions to cavitate, i.e., the fluid will pass from liquid to vapor and form bubbles. The formation of vapor alters the effective flow passages of the fluid and can seriously affect normal pump performance. The subsequent collapse of these vapor regions creates local pressure forces that can cause flow instabilities and or substantial damage. To avoid cavitation during operation of a propellant pump, the pump inlet available net positive suction head, NPSH sub A, furnished by the propellant feed system upstream of the pump must be higher than the suction head above the propellant vapor pressure at which cavitation would begin. NPSHA is the difference between the propellant inlet total pressure head and the propellant vapor pressure, expressed as follows. Typical cavitation characteristics of speed pump operated rated design. Give me 1 second. Yeah, the index is basically your control F, dude. Interesting. I'm trying to see if the engine is throttled down or throttled up. From what I can tell from this graph, it looks like you could do it either way. You could throttle down or you could throttle up and get cavitation. In design practice, the term critical net positive suction head, NPSHC, defines the NPSH value that will result in 2% head generation loss at rated design speed and flow rate of a given pump. Some references use 3% head fall off rather than 2. Usually further reduction in inlet NPSH below the NPSHC point results in rapidly increasing cavitation. In turn, the developed head is further reduced, bringing on non-steady flow. No, it's throttled up. Yeah, they interesting. So what I'm wondering is why the flow gets so turbulent on this. I originally thought it was because it's throttled down, but they're doing cavitation pressure testing. I mean, interesting. Yeah, there you go, Aqualux. Yeah, cavitation is bad. You don't want that. Go back over here. Go back to the index. $175, $183. One more thing I'm going to try and find here. So it's a difference in the pump pressure and the pump pressure in and pump pressure out rather than the pump speeds itself. My my guess is that they're, yeah, I mean, you can, yeah, kind of. Yeah, that wasn't exactly what they're doing there, but that was close. Yeah. That seems to be what's going on. Let me just check and see it one more time. Suction testing is one of the most exciting phases of any. So it looks like this engine is on, and it's on, but they don't have head pressure. So they're okay. In a fluid impeller, and this is basically what the book just said. With a fluid impeller, you have to have some pressure on the stuff that's getting pushed in, right? If you don't have pressure, head pressure in the line, right, before the impeller, you're going to create spatial cavities in there. It's going to suck all the propellant through, and it might suck too much through. That it's interesting because that's what he means, suction testing. They're testing to, like, why would this happen? This would happen if you lost tank ullage pressure. So NPSHA, sub A is what they're talking about. Yeah, that's basically what's going on. I mean, I don't think you necessarily need to, if I'm understanding this right, I don't think you necessarily need to have the engine throttled up or throttled down. I don't think throttle has anything to do with it. I think this turbulent flow is happening because the mixture is getting screwed up because you don't have the proper feed. I think that's what's going on here. Your mixture's all messed up. Once again, because you're pulling in vapors, you're not getting the right mixture in the combustion chamber. That's my guess. Probably wrong too. I'm just taking L's left and right today. Pump cavitation was also the thing that killed SNH engine due to bubbles in the turbopump's inlet. Yeah, those bubbles were also helium. Whoops. Yeah. Helium ingestion. Not good. This kills the rocket engine. Yeah, it's not good for it. But anyway, great to see that this engine is basically running with no head pressure, from what I understand. That's actually super cool. Oh yeah, look, fellas, look. When the engine turns on, look, you could see the cavitation happening in the flame. Not like physically, but you could see that the mixture is getting changed. The color of the flames right here changes. It changes. Look, see, changed. And then it went back. See, it's changing colors. Ah, interesting. Look at it there and look at it there. See what I'm talking about? Interesting. Cool. Well, today I learned that you could operate a rocket engine without head pressure, but that's probably not a good idea, but you can do it. Well, at least Stoke can do it, which is actually pretty neat. That's cool. We learned something today. Neato burrito. Well, that's awesome. All right, cool. So that's coming from Stoke. Now, Stoke is looking at making a fully reusable medium-duty carrier vehicle. Yeah, see, look at the difference. Look at the difference between up here and down there. See the plume there versus there? Oh, yeah. See, that's nice. Remember, we watched this actually a little bit earlier for Space News a little while back. That is a nice, healthy motor right there. That thing's very nice. Very happy. Once again, you can always tell what's going on with a motor by its by the plumes. Very easy. Like, it's just, I say it's somewhat akin to like you could tell what an engine is doing by taking a spark plug out and looking at the end of the cap, or the strap and the electrode on the spark plug. You can tell what an engine's doing. You can tell what a rocket engine is doing by the plume. If the plume has to be nice and crisp. See what I'm talking about? See how that's really defined? It's a really defined line. You have a very, very nicely formed Mach disc right there. This engine is happy. Very happy. No head pressure? So basically the world's most powerful toilet. Yeah, right? Here is a shot looking into cavitation in a pump at best efficiency point. Okay. Hey, Nick, what's going on? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not ideal. Interesting. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, there you go. We learned about suction tests today. Today I learned. That's super neat. Okay, so NASA's targeting Crew 9 for September 24. So check this out, guys. These two next things are from Gav, who does production over at NSF. Check this out. He retweeted a picture from Matt Hartman here of the Starlink 11-1 mission. This is coming back into the port of Long Beach. One of the crush cores got compacted on this first stage. That's why it's tipping. See that? Remember the shutdown sequence, flow separation is amazing. Yeah, it's actually really cool stuff. I mean, I'm not... All right, fine. Fine, we'll sit here and look at it. We'll sit here and look at it. Oh, yes. Yes! Better crush core than a 1058, yep. Throttling down. Oh. You're starting to get flow separation in the nozzle, and the mock disc basically collapses when that happens. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, that's so bad for it, dude. This has got to be an induced test, Forge. That's so bad for it. That's not... There's a reason why they have that stiffener ring on there, because if it didn't have that, this thing would be wobbling around like a bouncy castle. Oh, that's rad, dude. Really cool. Yeah, that's what flow separation does. You got to be careful with that. It's very bad for it. This is a new thing from Impulse. Exciting news from Impulse Space. We are thrilled to announce two major advancements in our mission to revolutionize in-space transportation. Geostationary Earth Orbit Rideshare Program. Our new program, featuring the high-performance Helios kick stage, aims to drastically reduce the cost of transporting small satellites to geostationary orbit and other high-energy orbits. The first mission is set for 2027. Upgraded Mira design. Our orbital transfer vehicle Mira now features improved radiation hardening, advanced avionics, and a robust power supply. These upgrades enhance its capabilities in geostationary and beyond, ensuring precise deployment and hosting upon arrival into orbit. These initiatives will provide reliable, cost-effective, and timely access to geostationary, enabling a wide range of new applications from payload hosting to constellation deployment. Cool. Have you seen the X-59? Yeah, the quiet supersonic transport. Yep. I haven't seen it. I know of it. Yeah, I've been following that program since they started it in 2019. Yeah. They're doing flight testing of that thing right now. And then they're going to take it around to a bunch of different airports and break the sound barrier over the airports, which is actually super cool. The X-59 is really awesome, if not a very weird-looking plane. Very weird-looking plane. The platypus plane. Yep, yep. That's cool coming from Impulse. That's good stuff, man. So, yeah, this is the Starlink 11-1 mission that came in. One of the crush cores on the first stage got manhandled. So, yeah, it's kind of... Dude, look, one of the landing legs is actually off the ground. I think so, Jam. Something like that, yeah. And then Gav also posted this. This is the fairing that came back into port from the Cygnus mission. This is off Space Coast Live. I think it's missing a piece. I think something is missing from that fairing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's missing some parts. Looks like it when it hit the water, it crashed into a wave or something. That seems to be the non-Cygnus door side. Yeah. You didn't have to eat the fairing. I'm sorry, I was hungry, dude. Jinx. Yeah, that's broken. Yeah, that's broken. It's very broken. How many flights did that fairing see? I don't know. SpaceX doesn't really give us any information on fairings that have flown other than if they've been flown before or not. That's pretty much it. The space engineer posted a photo. I forget the original source, but it definitely has the door. That one? Let's take a look. This is a special type of fairing, guys. There's a door on this fairing so they can load cargo into Cygnus. I don't see it here, Crane. Unless that's it right there, but that doesn't look like it. Oh. Oh. The bottles are only on one side. I seem to remember the bottles being in the center. Why are they offset? Have we seen offset COPVs in the fairing before? Found the photo. The door is clear as day. All right. Permit at Boker Cheeker Crane. All right, post it. Feed me. Feed me. Feed me. How much shorter is that fairing than normal? It's missing about a fifth. Uno momento. You have 60 seconds. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. For England, James! Hold your fire! You blow the gas tanks! Oh, all right, cool. I shot the guy already. Face the wall, please.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
I'm in space. Who took this picture, Boker Crane? We give credit where credit is due because we believe in our space photography corps. I felt no particular reason to bring that up. Yeah, there you go. That's the access door in the fairing. That's why your COPVs are shifted. I think it did it, Dick. I think it did it. All right, cool. Intact fairing before lunch. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. It was posted by the space engineer. I'll ask him for the source. We always give the sauce. We always give the sauce. Give me the sauce, bitch. All right, sorry. Yeah, so this door is designed for late loading payloads into Cygnus. Basically, you get in there and you load payloads that need to be like on ice or something. If there's an experiment that needs to stay cold.
This is space. I'm in space.
Space. Thanks for the resub. It's a gift subscription courtesy of Mitch Shaw. Bill Girth calls it the Giga Door. It's a pretty nice door, dude. Yeah, this is for late loading time-sensitive payloads. Something that can't be sitting around stewing inside of this payload fairing all day. The sauce. I got you. Give me the sauce. Oh, give me the sauce. That's gravy. Some people call it gravy sauce, I guess. Oh, yeah, I don't remember doing that. I mean, gravy is sauce. Gravy is gravy, okay? Gravy is gravy, all right? Gravy is sauce by definition. What are you doing in my stream? Why are you here? See what I did? I'm gonna start doing that. What are you doing in here? This is my stream. Get out. He also hinted that they can move it around in the fairing in case other payloads need it. Nuclear RTGs. Nice. NSF Gator Cam is the source of the fairing photo. Just got a text from TSC. Tell TSC that TSC is a gentleman and a scholar, and that EJ thanks him. Does he know who I am? Probably not, but maybe. All right. Hey, EJ, I know you don't Twitter much, but did you see Tory Bruno clap back at me for spelling his name wrong? Good stuff. That was you. Were you the guy that called him Tony? Why are you being mean to Tory Bruno, man? We like him. Who's Tony? That whole thread was just Tory Bruno dishing out L's, and it was pretty cool. He was just like, here, have this L. Here, have this L. He dished one out to you, man. I'm not going to lie. It's Tony guy. My favorite ones are, why are you here? Get out of here. Yeah, thing is, I always call him Tory, but seriously, it was a straight L to me. I mean, it was a great thread. We covered it in pretty good detail yesterday. He was just dishing out L's left and right. Oh, dude. Who's Tony? That one made me laugh, dude. You go look at the VOD yesterday, dude. That one made me laugh pretty hard, dude. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. Who's Tony? The other ones, though, where he's just dishing out just fat L's to everybody. It's pretty funny, dude. Why are you in my thread? Get out of my thread. I'm like, whoa. Dude. That was a great thread. It brings me great joy. That was pretty funny. All right. Let's take a look at what we have here on the manifest for the rest of the week. Let's see. We have Falcon 9 Block 5 Starlink 8.3. That's on Friday at 8 in the morning. Okay. And then we have Falcon 9 Block 5 Starlink 10.7 at 7 in the morning. And then we have Falcon 9 Block 5 Arctic Satellite Broadband Mission, ASBM, on Sunday at night. Oh, it's Sunday at night. Yes. One that's not at screw you in the morning. Anyway, Duel, that's a pretty funny thread. But don't be mean to Tory Bruno. Tory Bruno's cool, man. That guy's cool. I like him. We figured out that the reason why ULA had some problems, like the reason why they have that photography thing, dude, is, yeah, it wasn't it's not just some draconian thing that they put together. They had, I don't really have a good way to put this without sounding like a complete jerk. During remote setup a little while back, for one of their launches, they had one of the launch photographers, his ticker decided to not ticker anymore. And let's just say that prompted a legal review of remote camera setup operations. Let's just say that. Yeah. Yeah, I understand why they're doing it. It's kind of but yeah. They're yeah. We at least that's what I think. I think that's what's going on. That's what makes the most sense. We actually talked about that, trying to figure out what the heck that means. Like, why would you do this? It doesn't make any sense. No, Neo, they're you can set up they don't want private photographers inside of the pad. They want media oriented photographers. So editorial or educational purposes. So you need to be like accredited media to go into the pad. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that they're doing that because of the incident that they had. There was no way to notify next of kin because the guy's a private organization, right? So I mean, unfortunately, the guy passed away, and that sucks. So I'm pretty sure that prompted a legal review to kind of review their liability nomenclature for the pad, which sucks. The guy didn't. No, he passed away. Yeah, John was his name. I didn't know him, but I know a lot of people that did know him. Yeah, now I feel like a jackbutt. But see, like, that's the thing. I don't think Tory Bruno's gonna go out and say something like that. He's not that kind of dude. That's why I like him. He wouldn't be like, no, this guy had a problem on a pad, and now we have to do it. He just said, it's my policy. I live by it. And then started dishing out L's. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I'm pretty sure. I talked to one of my, I talked to Mitoro, a good buddy of mine that he goes and sets up remotes all the time. He's a launch photographer. So I'm pretty sure they just don't want, the chair just decided to recline randomly. I'm pretty sure they don't want private photographers in there because of the liability. I'm pretty damn sure that that's what's going on. I mean, dual, yeah, whatever. Hey, all good. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out because I'm like, ULA actually has been one of the, like, their remote setup. They've actually been super cool in the past. Like, dude, they let me walk on their launch pad. They let me walk on their launch pad during a remote camera setup. They let me do that. I'm like, you're gonna let me near a pad? All right, they've been pretty good about it, dude. But yeah. Yeah, Wolfie, there's not much in the way of EMS out there, and this most definitely delayed their launch campaign, which is why they were like, like, once again, I kind of see why they wouldn't be like, no, you know, this is the reason why. This is so stupid. This is why we're doing it. You guys suck. You know, like, they were, as always, ULA was pretty damn classy about it. But yeah, I kind of, that, keep in mind, that's just a theory, guys. That's what I think. I don't have a source or anything. All right, okay, I guess my chair is reclining now. Yeah, dude, that's what we were trying to figure out, but I'm not 100% sure, you know? Like, this chair finally kicked the bucket. No, it's good. No, it's not. Come on, chair. Come on, Marcus. Stay with me. This is fine. This is fine. Did they stop people from selling photos? No, they stopped private photographers. You can, I only had another chair. I do. But I'm getting my money's worth out of this one before I open up the secret lab. Geek, they don't want private photographers on there. Greg. Yeah, they, just go yank the driver's seat out of the Camaro. That's not mine. Yeah. I'm looking around. I'm trying to burn through. See if there's any other space news around. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Oh, Cygnus did arrive to the ISS. That's a good one. Yeah, probably should mention that. Cygnus got up there. Northrop Grumman made adjustment to the burns, and it arrived at the station on time. It arrived very early this morning. But yeah, this was the Cygnus that Falcon 9 did launch, and it did make it up there, which is pretty neat. It got wrangled by the Canadarm and docked to the Unity port. There's a picture of it. Pretty rad. Speaking of the Camaro, is it still in pieces? Yeah. It's getting there. Just odds and ends, dude. The big problem that I'm running into with the Camaro right now is the strut bar. That's the big project. The strut bar is fouling on the mount plate for the fully adjustable suspension. I have to cut a chunk of that plate out, but I want to make sure that I mount the strut bar in a position that where it actually does something and doesn't foul on the plate where I need to adjust it. I have it mocked up in there right now, but yeah, that's right now I'm spending a lot of time going through the headlight bezel. Somebody really Geek, the headlights are adjustable. Is that the same Camaro you dragged across the country? It is. Yep. Headlights are adjustable, guys, and headlights on that kind of car has a headlamp that's spring-loaded, right? It's spring-loaded on one, like the headlamp is obviously square. There's a spring on one side that wants to pull it, right? And then you have two adjustment screws to set the pitch and yaw of your light, for the most part, right? Pitch and yaw is probably not the right way to say that, but the adjustment screws, I went to take that apart to try and rebuild it, and honestly, it looks like somebody adjusted the adjustment screws with a hammer. Here, I don't like showing pictures on my phone, but that's the screws. So the bottom one, that T-shaped thing right here, that's what it's supposed to look like, and that's what the majority of what I pulled out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone went to adjust the headlights with a gigantic hammer. Yeah, so yeah, we need new ones before I could put that all back together. I got new hardware for the front bumper because half of the hardware was missing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, the strut plate, the coilover adjustment plate is fouling on the strut bar. That's what's going on. Yeah. So yeah, Cygnus was brought up to the station, and then yeah, the Camaro is I'm making progress, yeah. I'm currently, I painted the headlight bezels today. Here, I can show you real quick if you want to see. I'll be right back. Yeah, I have the headlight bezels painted. I got new hardware for those. There's a bunch of stuff. Okay, let me see what else we got for news here. Oh, the K member is in there, Geek. I did a lot of mocking up, and it turns out that the small block Chevy mounts pick up on part of the LS mount. Yeah. Yeah. The bolt holes are the same distance on part of it. So Hey, program, what's going on? So, what's going on with that is the small block clamshell has 1, 2, 3, 4 bolt holes, and the LS motor mount has 4 bolt holes. 2 of them are perfectly coplanar. So the front bolt holes on the small block Chevy clamshell line up with the back bolt holes on the LS mount. And I know what people are going to say. So you only have 2 bolts holding each clamshell together? And the answer is, oh yeah, absolutely. What? It's a 305. What is it going to do? Break them? It's fine. They're grade 8 bolts holding it all together. So, it was weird that your mic picked up what you said just as you entered the office. It's a good microphone, dude. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Yeah, so I got new clamshells. There's a brand new set of small block Chevy clamshells in there, and it just picked up right on the factory points, pretty much. Hey, Rallius, what's going on? At least you could use that. Yeah, now Ernock is scoping for a 5.3 or something. Just got back from Good Springs. Cool. All right, anyway. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Camaro. I've been messing with the headlight bezel off stream. I think tomorrow we'll probably yeah, we could do some wrenching. If I get the clips in tomorrow, we could start reassembling the whole headlight structure and the whole front bumper. The reason why we took it all apart is so we could get the engine crane at it, and if you look on the rear end of the car, I have another bumper. Is this the car you picked up in the road trip? The one with the black stripes? Yeah, the red truck is mine. This is Ernock's car. Yeah. I also did some body work with the sledgehammer because the right front quarter was bashed in, but it seems to be true again, which is nice. Yeah, it's coming out okay. It's coming along, dude. I actually am kind of happy we didn't get it done that day because we would have rushed the suspension. There's no way we would yeah, it would have been half-assed. It would have been bad. I got new inner and outer tie rods for that thing. So it's the steering is super tight. The relay link, the idler arm, and the pitman arm are fine. I checked those, so those are still stock. But we have replacement tie rods. I have an adjustable tie rod piece that's threaded on both sides with jam nuts. That's a QA1 adjustable tie rod thingamajigger. So we don't need to have the stock ones that have the 2 bolts on the side where you have to undo them and screw it and then screw it back together. Screw that. We don't have any of that. I had to clearance some of the spindles on the Camaro because the bottom of the coilover was fouling on a little bit, so I clearanced both of the spindles. All the suspension in there right now is basically mocked up. Nothing is torqued down except for the cross member and the motor mounts. Yeah. Space. All right. So yeah, Cygnus docked to the ISS. It made it there on time. It did have some problems with a burn. It was supposed to do a burn right after it separated from Falcon 9, and it didn't do it. And from what I understand, it turned out to be a software controls thing. So the flight controllers at Northrop Grumman basically uploaded some new burn data to this thing, made another maneuver node, so to speak, and got it to the space station on time, and now it's up there. Pretty awesome. It was wrangled by Matthew Dominic. It was up on the space station right now. Good stuff. Also, tickle stuff. I'm not too familiar with this account, but apparently we have pictures of what the official SpaceX Starship Flight 5 patch is, and it's definitely Mechazilla catching a super heavy. Yeah, or not, we just basically giving them an update of everything that I'm doing. I should do a wrenching stream tomorrow. I really got to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about getting the strut bar to work with the coilover adjuster plate. Yeah, I think I know what I want to do, but we'll do it on stream so everybody can see it. Should be a good time. We're going to have to get the cutting wheel out. SN15 is the best ship ever. Hey, love the content. Keep it up. Hey, my pleasure, SN15. I wish we got more suborbital flight tests, dude. That would have been cool. Someone in that replay thread said you could purchase the patch somewhere. Anyway, awesome picture. Flight 5 is, I don't know, we're kind of dog days of summer here for launches. I mean, Falcon 9's still launching like crazy, but I would say that Flight 5 is probably going to be sometime at the beginning of September, unless SpaceX starts stacking stuff relatively soon. SN16 hypersonic flight would have been awesome. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that would have been a good time. Definitely would have been a good time. So, yeah, there's that. Now, Forge, you linked this other thing. What do you got? Did you know that the Space Force makes patches for every launch they support? Yes, I did know that. Is Flight 5 going orbital? Yes. Flight 5 is basically it's exactly the same as Flight 4 in terms of Starship's trajectory. The only difference between 4 and 5 is that they're going to try to catch Super Heavy. They're going to try to catch it with the tower, which is okay. The suborbital test lights are your favorite? Yeah, those were so cool, man. Such a good time. What's the current ETA for Flight 5? I would say we're still a month out. I mean, we haven't... Let me just pop into Starbase Live here, dudes. And we can actually see if NSF has a new Starbase update video. Hold on. How's that Flame Trench video doing? How many views does that have? 29,000 views. Hey, I'll take it. That's the one where I got a little spicy. Your boy got a little spicy in that one. Oh, why am I not thumbnailed? What the hell is this? That's okay. Jack and Trevor are cool. Anyway. Hey, 29,000 views. That ain't bad at all. Pretty good. Let's see. Videos. Oh, good. Yeah. Let's see. It's just the... Oh, you want a link to the spicy? Here, hold on. Yeah.
Crabs are invading Starbase, and Starliner is still in space on this week's Flame Trench.
Yeah, here you go. Here you go. The comment section was fun. Oh, nobody updated my... Jack is my spirit in. Power to his right. There's a couple of people that... couple of people had it out for you, boy, and that's fine, whatever. It's all the way down the bottom, though. Yeah, I was watching this thread. I'm like, okay. I am by far the worst guest on NSF. Yes. Awesome. Will I read all the comments? Actually, dude, that one right there was the only one that was actually negative. Everything else on there is all good stuff, so...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
And even all the replies to that guy were like, what are you talking about? Which is actually kind of cool. Makes me happy. Just saw your clip where you complimented me earlier. Thought I'd pop in here for the heck of it. I do indeed know you exist. Kudos to you. No problem. Yeah, yeah. That's good stuff, MC. That's cool, man. You can't handle the truth. I guess not. Hey, my man. The space engineer. What's going on? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm reading YouTube comment sections about the flame trench where people call me clueless about spaceflight. That's all right. Man, if I don't know what I'm talking about, what does that make that guy? Anyway, let's go back to the NSF video. Oh my goodness. The space engineer. Well, thank you for popping in. I do appreciate it, buddy. Oh man, how'd you like having that guy's job? That always just looks so strange. Wait a minute. You know, I'm bringing back an old thing. Ready? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. 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 Get the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. Starship says get the frick up. I don't know. Bum, 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 bum. Two kids today will never know. That's right. Why did I get scrapped? Because they needed space. I said 15. Dude, you look. Okay, all right. And once again, this footage is from Mary Boca Chica Gale down at Starbase, doing the Lord's work, getting us these pictures. Guys, you know, you see Starship, you're like, okay, it's going into the megabase. Look at the vehicles down there. I always make it a thing to point out this. Every single time I make it a thing. Look at the trucks. They just don't like you for some reason. Yeah, Ernog, that's the thing. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to change my tune. Sorry. Like I said, the vast majority of those comments were pretty good. Like 95% of it. Dude, I will take 95% good on the internet, man. That's good. I'll take that. That's fine with me, man. The scale is always nuts. Dude, I can't believe it, man. It's like, you know, you see like vehicles next to this thing and it gives you the perspective and you're just like, that's not small. Bikes! Oh, it's serial number 398. Rebar for pilings. Those do indeed be rebar for pilings. And what these guys are doing right here is they're tying off the rebar, guys. So anytime you're going to make rebar into a lattice like that, you have to tie it together. And it basically has the consistency of a slinky when you tie it together. Because these are being used for pilings, what they're doing is they're going to drill a hole with an auger, right? You've seen that piece of equipment around. It's this thing over here. See that guy in the background behind the berm? It's basically a big drill that goes and drills a big freaking hole, right? And then they take that rebar lattice and they put that down the hole, and then they fill the hole up with concrete. Now, what happens is because the water table is so low, that hole is going to turn into a well. It's going to fill up with water. So what they do is they make a concrete slurry, and they pour the slurry in there, and it displaces the water, and it basically makes a pillar for you. It makes a piling, a concrete piling into the ground. Out in Boca Chica, you need to do that because it's wet. And they said you couldn't build a launch pad on a swamp, but I did it anyway. Fell into the swamp. SN15. My good friend SN11 had Taco Bell the day of the flight. Learned a valuable lesson. Yep. So what these guys are doing here is they're making this rebar lattice. Like I said, it ends up being like a slinky, but you know, you have the rings right there, and then you have to tie the rebar to them, right? That's a big pain in the butt, and they should have the rebar tie guns So like you just hold it to it and it goes. If you guys have watched Colin Furs, you guys, anybody tunnel digging, anybody? The rebar tie gun, that's what they're doing. These are rebar guys. They're making those. Oh nope, those guys are hand tying. Good for them. That's nuts. That's a lot of freaking work, dude. Dude, that thing is growing like a freaking weed. Bringing back the old memes, I see. Yes. Dodge. Anything interesting going on here? It's just dudes doing work. That crane, yeah, that crane with the wide boom is pretty sweet. Wire snippers in some hands. Yep, you just tie it off and then click, go. Are they gonna build a larger tower for the taller starship? I would assume so, Sea Kraken, but you never know. Does SpaceX have their construction department or the contract? This is all contracted work, Brahms. From what I understand.
Go at throttle up.
For doing concrete work, I don't think SpaceX has an in-house concrete company, to be honest with you. Deepic, 46-month resub. You think the chopsticks would give me a hug if you asked nicely? Yes, precisely. Yeah, MC, I don't think it's taller, dude. Oh, that guy's welding. He's MIG welding. I can do that. Badly. Yeah, guy's got a Miller-Matic right there. Just, yep, grinder and paint. I wonder what these guys are up to, welding to the chopsticks. Oh! Damn, that's cool. Why is he welding a MiG? He should be welding a Sukhoi. Yakalip. How many sections now? I think we're 6 tall. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't put another segment in there. The base itself is taller by a little less than 2 meters, so it is taller by definition, but nothing like extra floors or modules. MC, my guess is... So, Space Engineer, my guess is that it's taller because they redesigned the OLM. I don't think it's any secret that the OLM for Pad B is definitely not going to be that milk stool thing. Definitely not. Supposedly it should have a flame trench. And they're working on another segment at Sanchez. What's wrong with the milk stool? Genuine question. Don't know someone. Yeah, you can tell it's Starbase because of the way it is. Yeah, maybe help us, yeah. Whoa. That looks like the pagoda at Indy. Ugh. Ship 26 is not the best, okay? Not. He's not. He's not. No, it's not, Goji. Pay no attention to these hypocrites, chat. God, it's gonna be a great day when they scrap that thing. Oh, bringing the boom down. Yep, he's gonna lay the thing forward like that. Damn. That is a big freaking crane, man. Style man. We gonna sand that down, or maybe some goof off? Get the flap disc. Maybe some goof off will do it. No, the lines show them where to put the new tiles. Dude, even the stool. Look at that Super Duty right there. Like, that's not a small truck. It looks like nothing compared to that thing. SN15 over in YouTube chat says, Ship 26 isn't liked with fellow starships. I agree. Slap. Hear me out. We scrap 26 and build another Star Hopper. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, dude. The Eternal Hobby. Ship 26 and 32 are both scrap piles. Isn't 32 the one that, 32 is the one that decided to become Tesla? Hey, Slappy! 9-month resub.
Discovery.
Vertical tank bases scrapped. Oh, the vertical tank base. Oh, no. I remember when they built that thing. No, that was 31. Interesting. So why would they scrap 32, dudes? I've been out of the loop. Ew, get that off the screen. No, no, no. $31 is the last V1. Alex said on Raptor side he's booked flights for the first 2 weeks of September to see launch. I hope he's right. 30, 31 are V1 flying. 32 skip. 32 is skipped, moved to V2. 33 is V2. Gotcha, Crane. Yeah. What do you mean it became a Tesla? So Ship 31, when it was on the test stand at Massey's, someone caught a short and decided to become the world's biggest Van der Graaf generator. Just started arcing electricity all over the place, dude. Yeah, something shorted out on it and it caught on fire. That's what I mean. It decided it could. They said you could be anything. I decided to be Tesla. That is what happened. There is footage. NSF has footage. Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, it's pretty violent. Nobody was hurt. Yeah. It powered our solar panels. Yeah, there you go. The raceways are separated on block 2 now. Yeah, you might want to keep your electrical away from your autogenous pressurization lines. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's fine on the external tank. Dude, look at those. Are those stainless flanges? Beautiful. Great. Blew up the raceway. Yeah. Dodge. Bird. Thing. Maybe it should have used lithium iron phosphate batteries. I don't think a battery is what decided to electrical itself. Oh, bird. Wait, those aren't Texas plates. Interesting. Oh, look at that. Look at that box truck. That's a nice truck, boy. Is that a Huffy? Tesla. Yep. Those guys are tying the rebar off at the beginning. Actually, I thought they were tying off rebar for the pilings. No, they're not. They are putting some type of foundation in here. Still tying off rebar, but not the rebar for the pilings. Yeah. So see this thing right here, this thing that looks like Canadarm? It kind of articulates somewhat similarly too. That's a pumper truck. So it's basically a truck with a gigantic corkscrew in it that shoots concrete up a plumbing line, and it has basically a big cherry picker on it. And then at the end of it, you notice the pipe goes with it, right? And then at the end of it, there's a floppy hose. And what that thing does is it reaches over into the center of a foundation, and you can move it back and forth, and the guy can take the hose to spread the concrete. It's a concrete pumper. The concrete truck will turn it on, and it'll feed a local hopper on the pumper truck. You can't really see it in this picture. I used to watch Colin. Dude's funny. Yeah. Dude's fun to watch. Yeah, Colin's the best, man. You're a floppy hose. Who's floppy hose? What is this concrete for? A floor? I don't know. I don't have my bearings here, Jim. I don't know where we are. But yeah, see, the pumper truck is pumping it in, that guy's moving around, and then everybody else has to spread it out. And then they're gonna have to go over this thing with a not an aerator, basically this thing that looks like a go-kart with a fan facing down. It gets all the air bubbles out of the concrete. But those guys are spreading it, and the other guys are smoothing it. Camaro. Front-end loader. Just decided to go over those rocks because... Power trowel. There you go. They're in the gate by hopper. So that's the new gate entrance, Adrian's. Thank you. That is the chopstick, or the carriage tracks right there. Think of that like the railroad track that goes up and down, because the thing goes up and down on the thing. The thing goes up and down on the thing. Great commentary, bro. I really appreciate it. Those are the tracks that the linear bearings on the chopstick carriage use to go up and down the tower. Yak. That is Mr. Yak. Cool. Bit of an oopsie after 1082. I saw that, Thomas. Did you see Cygnus's fairing, man? Cygnus's fairing decided to fairing int. That's the one with the door on it. We figured that one out. With the help of the space engineer, my guy. What fairing? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Does that use a ball bearing? It's a linear bearing, Sea Kraken, so you have a roller bearing. Here, I'll show you. So it looks like a roller bearing, but instead of being cylindric, it's linear. So here. So that's a tapered roller bearing. This is the type of bearing that you'd find on a car. Right there. Take this, cut it in half, and then lay it flat. That's what the carriage tracks look like. It's a linear bearing. So here. Yeah, something kind of like that, but not like that. But kind of like that. It's all roller bearings nowadays. Yeah, I can't remember the last car I could think of that can't remember the last car I could think of that had anything but a tapered roller bearing. The reason why they taper the bearings is because on a wheel hub, guys, you have, like, let's take the Camaro, for instance, that's in my garage, right? So see this thing right here? The rotor is on there, right? And the rotor has a tube inside of it. And then you have two tapered roller bearings, right? And they're on either side. One's on the outside, the outer bearing, and one's on the inside, right? And they're riding on a spindle. Spindle is just a solid cylinder of metal. And then you have both of these tapered roller bearings facing towards each other. That basically keeps it so that spindle rides directly in between the bearings. It stays in between the bearings, similar to how a train works. Actually, exactly how a train works. Train wheels, like on a railroad, are tapered. They're tapered. So the train stays centered on the rails. Yeah. And also because of differential rotation. Depends on where the bearing is. I'm pretty sure the bearings in the rear end on that mutter might be just a straight roller bearing. They're probably not tapered, but I don't know Chevy 10 bolts too well. But yeah, that's the idea. I can't remember a car with front wheel drive that doesn't have a tapered roller bearing. I should amend my words. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much a line of thousands of free rolling cylinders going up two sides of the rails. Yep. By the way, nice hammer work. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I got it back. I'd have to take the quarter panel off and get my hammer and dollies out, Ernok, if we really wanted to get that thing like perfect, but from what I remember you telling me, you kind of wanted to look a little ratty on the outside, so yeah. So it's good. It's fine the way it is. I'll hit it with some tractor paint and call it a day. But it's straight. It's gonna be straight on the bumper, but the metal is kind of, so like if this is the front flange, this is the thing that I hammered. You're looking at it from the top. So this is the side of the car. The tire would be right here. It's pinched. It's kind of doing this. It's kind of like tapered in a little bit right there. Just a little bit. It's impossible to tell unless you were up close. It's a $20 body work, or 20-foot body work, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, those linear bearings on the crazy thing is that, you know, we'll tie this all back together, guys. The linear bearings on the carriage for the chopsticks are like as big as the hood of that car. You see the thing with the black stripes that's sitting on the roof? They're huge. I remember when they put them on the original chopstick. I mean, guys, they got to be at least 2 meters tall. 2 meter tall, meter wide. They're gigantic. And the roller, the actual piece of metal, the roller metal, is unreal. It's got to be at least 10 centimeter. At the very least. Like, these are just heavy pieces of equipment. It's looking good? Thanks, guys. Yeah. Thoughts on the Starliner situation? I think they're taking their time to do a fault tree analysis, and that takes time, but SN15, I'm fairly confident that NASA is like 95% sure that they can come back. But here's the thing. You don't roll the dice with 95% when it comes to spaceflight because of Murphy's Law. Don't do that. Got to be more sure than that. So, I'm thinking that because there's some leeway in the schedule here, no other spacecraft are going to come up on the IDAs, and as long as Starliner can stay up there, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. But the fault tree analysis is going to be hard because they're having problems with the thrusters, right? They're having problems with the thrusters. So it's really hard to figure out what's wrong with your thrusters when it's attached to a space station going 17,500 miles an hour, and you can't get your hands on it. But what would be the best time to figure this out? Right now. Because if you have them come back down, I mean, you know, and heaven forbid something goes wrong, you know, if it doesn't go wrong and they come back down, you have no service module to do your analysis on. So guys, I really don't think this Starliner thing is as big a deal as everybody says it is. I really don't. They're doing fault tree analysis, and there is going to be another presser tomorrow at 12:30, and I will listen to it. I'm not looking forward to the press. The press is just going to ask the most lukewarm questions like they always do. So it's very tiresome. Your dad thinks it's a bad idea to bring Butch and Sonny back on Starliner. Why? Guys, they're doing a fault tree. You have to do a fault tree analysis because 95% sure ain't gonna cut it. Got to be like 99% sure. Seriously, 95 is like very unsafe in spaceflight. Risk tolerance. And well, we learned another keyword the other day called flight rationale, or a key phrase. You have to be absolutely sure you know exactly what's causing those thrusters to overheat. My guess, and this is my guess, here's the guess part from EJ. My guess is, so we know from the press conference, we know that their thermal model on Starliners, the duty cycle on Starliner's thrusters The thermal model for the duty cycle, meaning how hot they thought the thrusters were going to get for repeated firings, right? Was not accurate to what the heat levels that were actually encountered. Their thrusters were getting way hotter than they thought they were. Why is this a big deal? Amongst other things, you can boil your hypergolic propellants in the lines. Boiling anything inside of a pressurized anything is a bad idea. You don't need that happening. You don't need that happening to a capsule with people on board. That would be bad. And also it causes seal degradation on the NTO and MMH fuel injectors, fuel and oxidizer injectors on the thruster, right? They talked about this. Their thermal model wasn't right, and because of this, they got seal degradation, and they had some of the filters caught some pieces that some plumbing that not that seal degradation. Pieces of the seal were going downstream and getting caught in things from different seals on the system. So okay, this all comes from a deviant thermal model, right? The thrusters were getting hotter than they thought they were. And that's going to take time to make sure you got that right. That's going to take a lot of testing and a lot of analysis. And as long as they have the leeway in the schedule, it's not a big deal. Now, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to ask a question pertaining to why their thermal analysis was off and why wasn't this problem caught during OFT2, I think that would be a reasonable question to ask if we're going to be critical of Starliner. How did you flew this without people on it and it seemingly docked to the ISS no problem? But I have also heard that they had thruster blowout. The same problem happened on OFT2. At least it's consistent, but also at the same time, that means the proper analysis wasn't done then, and it clearly wasn't done now. That's the questions I'd be asking. Why wasn't this problem solved? I'm sure there's a good answer. And the other thing that I wanted to say is, so if their thermal model is different, what's going to be required. The other thing that you could do, and once again, this is EJ speculating now. This is me speculating. I don't know. Maybe this is what's going on. So your thermal deviance is different, right? And because the thermal deviance is different, now what could cause this? The duty cycle on the thrusters. So how many times you fire them. RCS does not fire constantly. Thrusters on spacecraft go like a spray can almost, because it's a backfed pressurized system. So it works kind of like an aerosol can, like you don't just hold it down, right? I mean, you could like that, or your thrusters are going to overheat. So if it is a control systems problem, meaning the computers were firing it in a way that's going to exceed the rated temperature on these thrusters from their thermal model, maybe their thermal model was accurate. But maybe the computer control system, right, is too much. It's commanding too much, and maybe the people that were working on avionics didn't talk to the thermal modeling people. I don't know. Could be that. Maybe we'll hear that as a question. We absolutely will not hear that as a question. Every question is just going to be like, is it safe? Is it safe? I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it. Is it safe? I don't think it's safe. Do you think it's safe? You know, every question is going to be like that. It's going to be hilarious. But anyway. So if their control systems on their capsule was commanding the thrusters in a way that exceeded the known thermal model of this, then it might require some type of coding rewrite. You might want to rewrite your control system for your avionics to not pulse those thrusters like that. Because RCS is pulsed they modulate thrust with RCS because of thermal. Like, that's nothing I didn't know. That's nothing anybody didn't know. How do RCS thrusters get rid of heat in the vacuum? They make RCS nozzles out of niobium. And I mean, I think it's niobium. That's my guess. Don't know for sure. This is not EJ's opinion. The niobium is, but RCS thrusters are made out of a metal that glows when it gets hot. It glows when it gets hot, but it doesn't melt. It's a special metal alloy. I think it's niobium, but that's just a guess. I don't know that for sure. And basically, because this metal glows, it radiates heat through light, through black body radiation. If you guys have noticed, when Rocket Lab or when SpaceX fires their motors, their upper stage engine, they glow, the nozzle glows. That's how it cools itself. RCS does the same thing, but because it's such a tiny, now, you know, like on SpaceX, they have that gigantic big nozzle, and it's also being film cooled from the Merlin 1D turbine exhaust. It's that big manifold that all the ice gets stuck in. When SpaceX launches things on Falcon 9, all the ice gets stuck and then it kind of floats away and people think it's aliens. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you don't, I'll show you. So because the reason why it works with that is because you got film cooling on top of the radiation, the thermal radiation that's going on. Now with RCS, you don't have something like film cooling. So you can't constantly fire this thing or else it's really going to break. You're going to introduce too much heat into the system. And here's the thing. You can't convect any heat in a vacuum. You can't do that. The heat's going to either get conducted or it's going to get radiated. So if it's, you know, it can only radiate out. The nozzle can only radiate out so much heat, right? When the nozzle can't, like, when you're introducing too much heat into the system from your propellants shooting off, right, and the motor starts to get too hot, you can get nozzle degradation. But now on top of, I mean, that's one thing, but on top of that, now your heat is moving into your system. Guess what? Your injectors are connected to your nozzle, and if the nozzle gets too hot, it's connected, and that's because it's connected. Now you're moving the heat somewhere else. It's thermal conductivity now. Touching something, you can get rid of heat by having two things touch together. A heat sink on your processor is a good idea. Is a good example of that. Not a good idea. It is a good idea. I mean, that's a good example of that. It's conducting heat away from your processor, which gets really hot when you play Crysis on max settings. Boom! Just dated myself. Sorry. Can it run Crysis though? Really? So now your heat's going to go upstream. And that's why they're getting seal degradation. Once again, this could just be a controls thing. You know, they might have to rewrite the systems to incorporate a lower duty cycle on the engines. And if you do that, now your burn times are going to all be different. And now you're going to have to recalculate your flight trajectory to land back at White Sands. That might take some time. Like right now. But you don't know that that's what's going on until you prove it. So could they have rewritten this stuff after they launched Starliner? Yeah, but they didn't know that there was a problem. You have to figure out what's the problem and what's not. You can't just go around being a hammer searching for a nail. That's how people get killed. Trust me, it's not smart. Don't do that. Don't hit someone with a hammer. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Niobium titanium alloy was used for the CSM's engine nozzle. Yeah, Rem, it has to be something that can radiate out the heat very fast because there's no place for the heat to go. There's no place for it to go. But believe it or not, everybody says space is really, really cold. No. Space is nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing there. It's the absence of heat. Right? There's nothing. So it seems cold because anything that you shoot out of an airlock is going to immediately freeze because the heat's just going to get pulled right out of it in a vacuum. Right? Now, so it seems cold, but it's not. Believe it or not, one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest challenges with spacecraft going up into space is them not melting themselves from the inside out. For instance, with the space shuttle. The space shuttle has its payload bay doors. Everybody knows that, right? What a lot of people don't know is that the inside of the payload bay doors house your thermal radiation systems. If a shuttle mission was on orbit and for whatever reason, this never happened, but for whatever reason, if the payload bay doors did not open, that is an immediate mission abort. The shuttle will turn into a nice pressure cooker after that if you're not careful. Another thing is if the shuttle was on orbit doing a mission and they had some micrometeorite hit one of the radiators and they started leaking coolant, immediate mission abort. Shut that thing, get down as quick as possible. That's how big of a problem it is. Like a little tiny piece of rock could scrub it and could just abort an entire shuttle mission. That also never happened either. They made the radiators out of titanium, if I'm remembering right. It was either aluminum or titanium. I can't remember. But yeah, getting rid of heat in spacecraft is very, very important. It's it's a very big deal. So, like I said, that deviant thermal model is kind of a glaring issue. Like, you really? But the flip side of that, right? It's really easy to sit here and say, oh, you didn't get your thermal models right? What are you guys, stupid or something? It's really easy to say that. You don't know how a spacecraft's going to outgas thrusters in the vacuum until you go and do it, right? It's one of those things that you just can't really test for down here. There's no vacuum chamber that will allow you to outgas thrusters inside. All the vacuum chambers we have are static. They're static pressure chambers. So you can just drop the vacuum and you can test for vibrations and you can test for electronics and thermals to an extent, right? But you can't outgas a thruster into a zero pressure environment because then you're not in the vacuum anymore. You outgassed and now you're going to pressurize eventually. You'll pressurize the system. There's no pressurize the pressure vessel or the vacuum test chamber. There's no way to test this on the ground. So I don't really blame them for getting their thermal model not exactly right. But also at the same time, this happened on the last flight. If it happened on the last flight, why did you put people on it? That would be my big question. Typically radiators are something lightweight like aluminum with something like a silver alloy coating. Oh, thanks, Rocket Guy. Yeah. Is it nitrogen? No, it's coolant. The A3 test stand at Stennis comes close to vacuum testing. Yeah, I know. It's almost like we had something like that. But that was just a propulsion vacuum. That's for propulsion vacuum testing. That's not for, like, testing a spacecraft. Like that for main propulsion. I'm not sure you could mount RCS in that thing. NASA needs to be more strict and hold these companies to a higher standard. Look, man, I want Starliners to succeed just as much as everybody else, but NASA has been using Boeing as a sock puppet since OFT1, since that fiasco. We covered this for Space News 5 years ago now. NASA basically said they gave Boeing a short leash, or a long leash, and they gave SpaceX a short leash because they thought Boeing would just get it right on the first try. They gave them the benefit of the doubt, and they paid for it. This is not just on Boeing, dude. NASA has had very, very big oversight on this program since the beginning of the pandemic. Since, November of 2019, December 2019, when OFT1 launched and it almost crashed. Yeah, they've had their fingers so far up Boeing commercial spacecraft's tailpipe that, they could be using them as a sock puppet. So it's not entirely on Boeing, to be 100% honest with you. This is why I think it's hilarious when people try to pit this and suggest that it's Boeing versus NASA, which is just dumb, because NASA's in on the analysis. Because they've been on the analysis since they screwed up in 2019. Red Fox, I will say this once, I'll say it again. This does not reek of incompetence. This reeks of inexperience. That's the big one. Do you think SpaceX having very recent experience with Dragon 1 cargo missions helped give them a leg up in commercial crew? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, Sam. I was explaining this on the Flame Trench post show last Friday, dude. All right, look, it seems like SpaceX goes fast, right? It seems like they go fast, and they do. Don't get me wrong. Certain facets of things, they go fast. Dragon is not one of them. You can say whatever you want about Dragon development. Dragon, no, that took as long as everybody else because making human-rated spacecraft is difficult. Look, cast your mind back to 2008. I don't know what you guys were doing. I was 20. No. Was I 20? Yeah, I was 20. 16 years ago. I don't like that. Cast your mind back to 2008. That's when SpaceX got the contract as part of the commercial crew. Commercial crew capabilities. So CCT CAP is what it was called. It was part of the Constellation program. SpaceX got a contract for Falcon 9 and for Dragon capsule to resupply the ISS. CCT CAP became the commercial resupply program, right? So Dragon came on the books and got funded in 2008. That's when they basically clean sheeted a brand new capsule design. It first flew in 2010, uncrewed, obviously, and then delivered its first cargo to the space station in 2012. I mean, honestly, that's pretty, like I said, SpaceX, you say that SpaceX goes fast. That's a case of them going extremely fast. I don't remember anybody in recent memory bringing a capsule online in less than 4 years. Even an uncrewed one. It's pretty quick. Now, with that all being said, they resupply the ISS, I think 3 times after that. And I think by the time CRS-4 rolls around, we get the commercial crew program in 2014. Okay. So that means they've flown Dragon maybe 5 or 6 times. I think it depends. I'd have to go look. Point is, they had some flights under their belt, right? So Dragon's first flight was in 2010. It came on the books in 2008. And Dragon 2 started development in 2014 based off of lessons learned from Dragon 1. Dragon 2 first flies in 2017 on the DM1 mission, then the in-flight abort, and then DM2. I forget when the IFA was. I think it was 2019. I don't remember. So once again, going from, Dragon 1 to getting the design for Dragon 2, and getting the contract for Dragon 2, and then flying an uncrewed test in 2017, that's pretty quick. That right there is pretty quick, but it's incremental steps, right? And that leads to, obviously, DM2, arguably one of the most righteous test flights around. It was great. It's great. The flight went off without a hitch. I mean, there was some bumps here and there, but it was fine. That launched in May of 2020. So look at the timelines here, okay? 2008 to 2020. That's 12 years. 12-year development to go from nothing to crew flights, okay? That's actually kind of long, believe it or not. But it feeds into a much more empirical evidence here that I'm talking about. Okay, look at Starliner. Starliner came from nothing. It was scratch built with it has some shuttle components on it, but it's for the most part scratch built by a company that's never made spacecraft before. Now, I know what people are going to say. What do you mean Boeing's never made spacecraft? They've never made a spacecraft. They make stages. They do a good job for what it's worth. Boeing made the S-1C. They made the Saturn V first stage. And then they made Space Shuttle external tanks. And now they make SLS core stages. And now you can say whatever you want about the SLS program. The contract structuring on that program is ass. But the SLS is actually a pretty damn good rocket in its own regard. Yeah, I get it, the heavy price tag. I'm talking about performance. Works pretty good for what it is. But all the companies that in the past that made our spacecraft, North American, later Rockwell International, so the Apollo CSM and the Space Shuttle, those are companies that Boeing acquired. Boeing has never built a commercial spacecraft in-house before. Ever. So now with that in mind, right? There's no prior stuff going on here, and any prior relevant technical expertise, anybody that worked on operations for the shuttle, well, they got fired
Go at throttle up.
They got fired when Boeing basically, when the shuttle program stopped, Boeing was employing all the shuttle technicians and engineers under a company called United Space Alliance. That folded in 2012 when the shuttle program left, and they fired off all their technical expertise. So it truly is a scratch-built design. It's hilarious to me that, I myself fell for this too, dude. I fell for it. Boeing, I said this at the time, and I was 100% wrong. I said Boeing's, I understand why they chose Boeing and SpaceX. Boeing is the legacy thing, right? It's the legacy thing. That's what I said at the time. Man, was I wrong. No, it wasn't. You fired all your technical expertise. So you're basically using components from a vehicle, from thruster components from a vehicle from 1972, and trying to jimmy those into a modern capsule when you've never built a spacecraft before. Now think about Starliner's development timeline. Okay, came on the books in 2014, first flight 2019 with the OFT-1 mission, a fiasco by any stretch of the imagination. That was bad. I'm amazed they got that capsule back. So what? 2014 to 2019, that's 5 years for the first test flight. That's a little slow comparatively to what we've seen with SpaceX. You know, like I said, SpaceX takes bigger incremental steps. But if you look at the stretch timeline of it, it's 2024, so it's been 10 years. Starliner's flown 3 times now. OFT-1, OFT-2, CFT, and then a pad abort, right? So I'd say 3.5, or we'll just say 3, because CFT is halfway done, pad abort's a half mission, right? So, flown 3 times. Starliner 1 is scheduled to happen, I don't know, end of the year, maybe next year. How long is that? 2014 to 2025. Little over a decade. Sorry, it lines up. It lines up. You want another example? Look at the Space Shuttle. Space Shuttle first came on the books in 1972. First flew in 1981. 9 years. Takes about a decade to make a human-rated spacecraft from what I can tell. Look at the Apollo capsule. The Apollo capsule came on the books 62, 63. First flew in 68. Now, the Apollo capsule is kind of an anomaly there, right? Because we basically had a blank check from Uncle Sam. The circumstances were very time sensitive, and it was also the most expensive, right? But it's 5 years, so that's kind of a mean. That's an anomaly here. From what I can tell, every spacecraft takes about a decade to make, a decade to really dial it in and get it right. I'll check that in a second, Rocket Guy. It takes a second to get this stuff right. And once again, this doesn't excuse Boeing from screwing up their thermal model, and it also doesn't excuse them from blowing out thrusters on a prior mission and saying it's fine. That seems to be kind of a problem here. So manned Starship in 2029? We'll see. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, and the Apollo capsule took orders of magnitude more risk. Having a Teflon seal for an oxidizer tank that they needed to heat up, and then having a Teflon seal line an electrical line that goes through a pressure vessel. And if that cracks, the spacecraft just blows up. Weird, right? Or, I don't know, having shorts in a pure O2 environment. Like I said, that came in on a tighter schedule. Apollo capsule came in 5 years, but we paid the price. Paid a heavy price. That's what I mean about it being more expensive. You know what I'm saying? So if you, Sam, like I said, you look at mean time of building a spacecraft, takes about a decade. About a decade. I don't care what anybody says. It takes about a decade. If you want to conform to all of NASA's human rating standards, right? It takes about a decade. How much did Soyuz take? Well, I would contend Soyuz first flew in 1966, and Soyuz designs are heavily influenced by Voshgod and Vostok. All right, so Vostok is the Russian word for east. It was the first human-rated spacecraft. That's the one that Yuri flew on April 12, 1961. Right? Soyuz came on the books in about 5 years. 1966. It was designed by Sergei Korolev, the same guy that designed the Soyuz rocket, the R-7 Semyorka. Right? But its designs go back as far as the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. So let's just say 1959, after Sputnik. Sputnik was October of 57. I understand that. Let's just, bear with me here. Like if we go from Sputnik to Vostok, right? So that was 57 to 61. I would say that Korolev took some time to develop it, and he did develop the spacecraft. He developed it himself. That guy designed everything by himself. Soyuz is all his design. One dude designed the Soyuz capsule. One dude. Korolev was extremely smart. That guy knew how to make rockets. Like, That guy was an anomaly, like von Braun anomaly, which is crazy. But if you look at it, say like 58, 59, 58 to 66, it's about 8 years. Now keep in mind, space race, right? Space race. It was rushed. Yuri's flight went fine. Ask Vladimir Kemerov how his flight went. Ask the Soyuz 1 crew. Dubrovsky, Patsiev, and I forget the last guy's name. Ask them how that went. Not good. Not great. See what I mean? Those capsules did get done faster, but they also killed people. You know? Not cool. Thanks for the breakdown, man. Dipped out of following space a bit these past few years, being so busy. You're helping me get back into it big time. Yeah. Soyuz 11, yeah, I mean, Soyuz 11 was more just, I blame that on workers and resources, if you catch my drift. That's what I'd blame that on. But you do see what I'm talking about. It takes about a decade. If you really want to engineer a spacecraft right and engineer it safely, it takes about a decade. I would love to change that in the future, but at the end of the day, our material science just isn't that good yet. Could we get better? Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt in my mind. Stuff takes time, dude. And if you look at Boeing, they're pretty much conforming to this scale to a T. Now, what is my impetus for coming up with this for capsule development timelines? Just in case you're wondering. How did you come up with this? You just look at the evidence and say, oh, it takes about 10 years and that's it, just because you have a couple of different samples of data from Apollo and everything? It's actually not my idea, if people really want to know. It's Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan's idea. Yeah, that's where I first heard about this, from them. In their testimony to Congress in 2011. Their testimony, and this is just kind of a footnote to that whole explanation. Neil Armstrong and Gene Cernan said in 2011 in their testimony to Congress that if we abandon the space shuttle and the Constellation program all at once, we are not flying into space for about a decade, because that's how long it takes to make a spacecraft without killing somebody. They said that in 2011. Interesting. It's almost like those two may have known what they were talking about. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. But thrusters, shouldn't they be stranded by now? How do they work? What do you mean hired? Rocket Guy, what were you saying? This passage is interesting from a shuttle design review document. Severe pitting occurred on the valve and leakage ensued. Results of material testing confirmed the four material problem. Because the failure occurred late in the production process, the first flight units had already been manufactured and shipped. The corrective action was to keep the thrusters sealed when on the ground. To date, this has been satisfactory, and a long-term solution has not been pursued. Rocket Guy, I don't like to presume. You never presume with anything technical in this industry. That's something I've learned. It's very easy to get humbled. I've gotten humbled like 3 or 4 times today with Stokes, when Stoke did suction testing. I thought they throttled down the engine. No, but they're testing for cavitation. I learned all about that today. Turns out rocket engines can fire without ullage pressure. They just don't work very well, but they can do it. Fun fact, right? So what do I mean by humbled? I don't know more than Boeing. But did they even bother going and looking at some of these old shuttle documents about this kind of stuff? Because it kind of seems like you're repeating the same problems as the shuttle. It kind of seems like that. Because I seem to remember Starliner launching with taped off thrusters. And Crew 1 launched in 2021, 10 years later. Funny that. That's what I mean, Sam. I'd find anybody that's hard-pressed to bring a dissenting opinion to that metric. Sorry, no matter how you cut it, 10 years to make a spacecraft. I don't care who you are. It could be NASA, could be SpaceX, could be Boeing, could be whomever. It takes 10 years. Anybody that tries to circumvent that process and tries to rush is going to get someone hurt. This stuff takes time, dude. It's extraordinarily complicated. Like, people don't realize, you don't realize how difficult this stuff is. Like, I just scratched the surface, guys, with the stuff that we talk about here. It's really, really complicated. I'm gonna make 1 in 3. You can do that by all means. Can you do that safely? But yeah, though, I thought it was interesting and wondering if that is part of the valve issues and leaks problems with the thruster blocks. Didn't they say after the first flight fiasco that Boeing is very hesitant to ask for resources from NASA? Yeah, interesting. It's very strange, man. What is the etymology of the word ullage? The word sounds unusual. That's U-L-L-A-G-E. Yannick, ullage is, in rocketry, gases that you use to keep your fuel tanks pressurized. Think about, like, if you have a car with an internal combustion engine. You put the fuel in the car, right? You ever notice that you just put the fuel in and everything's fine, right? All fuel tanks have a vent line. The reason why is because, well, you don't want your fuel tank pressurizing with gasoline vapors in there, because then it could auto combust. Don't want that. So there's a vent line, right? On your, it's most of the time it's in your gas cap. It could be on older cars, it's in different spots, but basically you have a big line for liquid going into your gas tank, and then you have a pneumatic line to vent. So when you fill your car up with gas, you displace the air inside, and all that air goes out the vent. Simultaneously, when your fuel tank is draining, the atmosphere is going back into the tank, right? On a rocket engine, you can't really do that. You can't vent overboard because you're going to a place where there's nothing to come back in, right? So you need to supply the atmosphere in the tank. Usually that's done with helium on rockets. They have COPVs inside of the fuel tanks that are submerged in the propellant, and when the engine turns on, actually it's even before, that's what pressing for flight does, right? It's before the engines turn on. You pressurize the tank isn't like completely full, right? You start pressurizing the propellants, and you make an air pocket at the top of the tank with your ullage tanks, and when the engines turn on, you don't have to worry about the pressure in your tanks changing. You do not want to have a high delta P with your tanks. The reason why is because we learned about this just a second ago in the propulsion book. You don't want to have changing head pressure in front of your turbine impellers, your fluid, your fuel pumps. You want the pressure, you want the feed pressure into your turbine to be constant. What was it called, guys? NASH sub A or something? The head pressure in the pipe needs to be high to feed the turbine correctly, or feed the fluid impeller correctly, or else it's going to cavitate, and that blows up the rocket engine. Oh, where does that word come from? Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. English etymology is a freaking mess, Stalfos. It's a mess. It's a mess of a language, I'll admit it. But the kind of beauty of English is that it's malleable because it's such a mess. You can just make new words. You know, you can just add to it. You can just make up stuff like saying loop did. Sick with this. Strength gigs to Mac. But sometimes I get ridiculous. I eat up all your crackers and your licorice. Come here, are you ticklish? No? Alright. My name is Humpty. Pronounced with the umpty. No? Okay. propellers are funny like that because they're both incredibly robust, but also spontaneously combust in the presence of one single bubble. Yeah, MCRS, we were reading about that because Stoke Aerospace did a suction test to see how much they could pull with no head pressure on their new engine. And I was wondering why the flow out of the engine was so turbulent. I thought they'd throttle the engine down. And then I went and read what Andy Lapsa said. They were doing a suction test. And then I dialed in my favorite book of all time, Modern Engineering for Design of Liquid Propellant Rocket Engines. This book is great if you want to learn about how rocket engines work. I went and found what that meant in this book. It's actually super cool. This is my all-time favorite book. You really want to learn about propulsion? This and Rocket Propulsion Elements by George Sutton. Yeah, I have the 8th edition, which is superbly outdated at this point. Hell yeah, brother, I have that one with me as well. Dude, I keep this at my desk all the time. This book comes so in handy, dude. I love it. It's such a great book. This will teach you about, well, here, look. Look at that. Yeah, cross-section of a turbo pump. A hypothetical turbo pump. Super cool, man. I learned so much about propulsion from this. Space engineer propulsion is my thing. That's what makes me the happiest, dude, because it's just ridiculous. I was reading about startup sequences in this and how, you make some head pressure and that pushes a spring and that opens this valve and then that gets your oxidizer pump spinning. And then once your oxidizer pump spins, right, it opens up and, you have something akin to a wastegate that opens up and that gets you pressure to the other. Dude, it's ridiculous. The reason I was reading about startup sequences is because of the Falcon 9 run that happened. I was convinced. I went back and watched the footage and I was convinced it had something to do with the startup mechanism. And sure enough, it did. Weird. That's an F1's pump, I think. Yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with turbine machine. Turbine machinery is bae. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Falcon 9 didn't, explode. It wasn't something like Amos 6, right? But what happened was, well, they had a pressure transducer on their line, an oxidizer line that leads to the T-tab cartridges, okay? They had a pressure transducer on there that they put on there because it was a requirement for a certain mission. Space Force! It was a requirement for a certain mission. SpaceX didn't say which one. Who has enough cash to get SpaceX to modify their rocket's design? Uncle Sam does. There you go. All right, that doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So they had this pressure transducer in a place. They put it in a place that had what's called a P-clamp. This is a P-clamp. I'll give you 3 guesses why they call it a P-clamp. But it could be a B-clamp or a D-clamp. No, this is a P-clamp. They had a P-clamp around where their metal line, so it was teed off, right? And they had a pressure transducer attached right where this P-clamp is because it was retrofitted, right? It wasn't supposed to be there. And the P-clamp being right on the flange between the line and the transducer cracked it. It cracked it, and because of the vibrations. The SpaceX said it was at a very vibration-prone area. That's a nice way of saying it's strapped to the freaking rocket engine. That thing vibrates a lot. Okay, it moves around. Yeah, it's on your turbine machinery. That's like the most violent place to be, save for being behind the business end of the nozzle, right? So that pressure transducer cracked. It cracked, and it started leaking liquid oxygen everywhere, but only during startups, right? Well, not totally during startups. Actually, yeah, pretty much during startups. What happened was those Mila bags that are on Falcon 9's second stage that they use to keep the turbine machinery from getting too hot? Well, guess what? They coated the outside of their turbine machinery with densified liquid oxygen because that line cracked. And it cooled their turbine machinery so that when they It cooled the turbine machinery so much that when they went to start the thing again, the rocket engine basically said no. We didn't see any of that. Yeah, that's the RUD. Yeah. If you're into orbital mechanics, fundamentals of astrodynamics is a good one. Yep. So you just saw a vid that a guy made a Triton V10 rev to 8,700 horsepower. It sounds like an F1 car. He swapped that 3-valve heads for 4-valve custom heads. Dude, you could do it. You'd need to take 5.4 4-valve heads from a Mustang and section them to make a row of 5. Yeah, you could do it. The V10, the 6.8 Sawyer, right? That's just a 5.4 with more cylinders. Actually, I think it's a 4.6, believe it or not. It may have been a 4.6, I forget. Yeah, that's why that engine is called modular. Actually, the real reason why Ford called those engines modular engines is because the assembly line, because the engines are all very similar. They have one assembly line that can make V8s. So it could make a V8, 4.654. It could make the V10, and I think it could actually make a V6 too. There's a 6-cylinder version of the mod motor that they put in Jaguars. Not a lot of people know that. If I recall correctly, it went near the T-tab equipment. The transducer was in one piece, and they ran a sense line. They ran a sensor inline from the reading location, secured it to P-clamps. Something about safety rules changed the configuration of the P-clamps, allowed the line to vibrate too much and crack. Yeah. It cooled the T-tab fluid so it flowed slower into the combustion chamber. When the T-tab finally found the liquid oxygen in the combustion chamber, it detonated the oxygen and fuel there that accumulated during startup. Ouch. No, a sense line, thin steel line that carries the fluid pressure. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, that's what prompted my whole reading about startup sequences and how they actually work. It's, I thought it was just, spray T-tab into the combustion chamber or something and you're good. No. Hey, J-Shell, 51-month resub. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, no, it's a little more complicated than that. Yeah, there's like springs and... Like I said, there are spring-loaded components that are somewhat equivalent of like a wastegate that sequence the ignition in a way that makes it so it doesn't pop when you go to start it. It's wild. And what's crazy is that all happens in like a split second. It's ridiculous how fast it actually happens. If you're looking at the sequence of events on just one rocket engine to get it start, there's like 1,000 things that need to just, like I said, a Rube Goldberg machine, man. It's nuts. Like, that blew my mind. Hey, Sean, what's up, man? Hey, keep being awesome. I'm trying, man. Thanks for the 4 months. Yeah, it's... Dude, it made my... I was like, okay. I knew it was complicated, but... Alright. Just... Alright. Okay. Anyway, I'm not sure that there's much more spec for the day here. Huh. Oh, here. I found this tab. Take a look. So this is coming from Airbus. Starlab, the family is getting bigger. Voyager Space and Team Airbus are bringing our vision to the next space station of the future to life by welcoming our new partners to our journey. Airbus will be in charge of system engineering and integration, including the main habitation module and design and development, as well as several other core systems. Hilton is designing the crew lodging area. Northrop Grumman for the development of the fully autonomous docking systems for Starlab's resupply. Cygnus. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries will broaden access for the Japanese space economy and industrial base. For AI data and analytical and predictive modeling, Planeteer Tech. For future astronaut training, Lufthansa Airlines training. Hey, Blackness, what's going on? Airbus Space. Ohio State for the first ever space-dedicated science park for Space Robot Innovations MDA. MDMA space. Wait, what? Okay. Does Hilton design beds? Oh, boo, Ohio State. Sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry. It's funny. I just went down this list of companies, and it's very clear which companies people don't like. Oh, Palantir. Oh, God, Ohio State. Gross. Voyager Space. Frick all these people. Yeah, just frick them all. Just, yeah, whatever. They all suck. Or something. Hilton like the hotel. Sure looks that way, dude. I'm going to tell my kids that's the PPE in the Halo module. You don't like how Voyager Space runs things? I mean, I'll take your word for it, dude. You probably have way more experience than me. Michigan man here. Go blue! As long as it isn't sports, I don't boo Ohio State. I mean, it's the Ohio State. You suck. No, you. Should have been Penn State, not Ohio State. It's going to be plastered in ads when it's done. Yeah, whatever. Imagine not loving the Buck, plebeians, Michigan degenerates. Bro. Michigan invented mass production of anything. What the hell did Ohio invent? Don't say flight. They did it in North Carolina. Nice try. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Shut up. Airplane. Boom! Roasted. Damn, I anticipated that. I'll piss everybody off. Roll Tide. Yeah, drive down that toll road, feller. You got to pay to keep the road smooth. Dayton disagrees with you. Yeah. And see, Michigan enabled the mass production. Just saying. Just saying. Ohio invented the serpent mound. Okay. The airplane, the light bulb, chewing gum, all developed in Ohio. You're welcome, bruh. I'm from Massachusetts. You can't stunt on us. You can't. We invented freedom. I'll take the W. Thank you very much. Give me the W. Come on, give me that dubs. Give me that dubs. We also invented tea in harbors. Yes. We invented freedom. Digital computers. We did that. That's pretty cool. MIT. We got the Institute. That's pretty awesome. I said 50. Us Pennsylvanians created the country. All right. Damn it, you won that. I mean, chewing gum is nice, but I like freedom. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. We invented synths. That's pretty cool. Medical anesthetic. Yeah, go look it up. Ether. First time ether was used as a anesthetic in medical science. Massachusetts. Boom. We invented democracy, existentialism, and the menage a trois. Hey, I like those three things. That last one's pretty cool. All right, the last one's pretty cool. Hilton quite literally doing anything in space is backfiring to me. Oh, yeah. Built the arm that grabbed Cygnus this morning. That's something. Go away, you stupid leaf. You're not part of this. This is a state competition, not a province competition. Y'all don't have anything on California. We invented, Michigan invented Flint water. It's so screwed up. Hilton designing the spacecraft interior makes me think Crew Dragon's cool design caught eyes. Probably, dude. We built. Sorry, couldn't deliver. I mean, Canada Rush. I mean, it's not inventing anything, but Rush is pretty good. Triumph also good. Yeah, those are pretty good things. We built. Sorry, Brazil couldn't deliver Iraq for the ISS. Brazil invented favelas. That's cool, I guess. Japan's sending PlayStations. England. Yeah, Santos Dumont 14 biz. Not a lot of people know about that, Helsinki. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Meanwhile, there's currently a Cessna 172 doing a ferry flight from Merced, California to Honolulu. It's Honolulu, Hawaii, right now? November 176, Charlie Alpha is the tail number if you want to check it out. He's doing a ferry flight from California to Hawaii? How? That's nuts, dude. How are you doing that? That plane better be light. Does this Cessna have drop tanks? I'm not upset. Tori Bruno just posted something. What is a ferry flight? Basically, he's flying from California to Hawaii in a Cessna. Also, shame on me. I didn't know KSP1 creator was Brazilian. I think it's a Brazilian name, Helsinki, but I think Felipe is from Mexico. I don't know if it's from Brazil or not. Maybe I can ask him. I got him on speed dial nowadays. A good buddy of mine. Nah, he was right on. Yeah, man. I'm not allowed to mention Tori Bruno. He posted this. This is a picture of the Atlas D missile at Convair in 1960. Just all in a row. Got some Atlas 5s right there. Got a lot of Centaurs. More Atlas 5s. Nice. How many Atlas 5s are left? At least 10. I know 6 off the top of my head. The 6 Starliner missions. And then I think there's, what's after that? There's 9 Project Kuiper Atlas 5s around. So, yeah, there's 9 of those. So that would be, what, 15? Starliner, Kuiper, and Viasat. So yeah, 16. There you go. There you go, man. 16 Atlases are all out there. They're actually all done from what I understand. Hey, Lua is a Brazilian invention. That's got, I mean, there's got to be a Brazilian lines of Lua code being written. I'm not sorry. You guys do this crap to me all the time. I'm not sorry. I did nothing. All right. You want to be proud of something, it's difficult. You got Christ the Redeemer. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Just saying. It's a cool statue. You have Carnival. That's pretty cool. I mean, your framework of government is a constitutional republic that's entirely based off the United States. That's pretty cool. Yeah, how many Americans know that, Helsinki? Not many. Yeah, Brazil doesn't have provinces. They have states, just like the US does. Same thing. Cool stat. I live in Brazil, but closer to you than Christ the Redeemer. Nice. Duel. Ohio invented the NFL. I'm dead. The Browns are trash. Space launch Delta 30s patch for the Starlink launch next week. What the what? 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 Why would someone do that? I'm a little confused by your tactics. I'm gonna keep acting tough until I figure out what's going on. What the hell? The one last week. Oh, that's rad. Oh, my Sigma. wait a minute. Oh, crap. Wait, here. Let's, what happens if we do Starlink 6-17? Nope, didn't work. I wish they would sell these. Yes, that'd be pretty cool. The one before? Oh, this one's my favorite, dude. Yeah, baby. All right. Peachy. That's killer, man. More? Oh, God. Dude, no, screw that. That's my favorite one. It seems like all of the patches that Delta 30 is using for Starlink missions, because there's so many, they're just picking cartoon characters and putting it on there. That's freaking sick, dude. Mewtwo. That's awesome. Peach one's pretty cool. Minecraft Steve is also pretty awesome. Not even cartoon. What the? What? Wait. All right. Okay. You can find them here. Oh, that's rad, man. You have one of these at home. Ah, cool. That's pretty sweet, Uncle X. Yeah, I don't hate that. That one's sick, dude. NSF? Wait, why are the NS... Oh, it puts the NSF patches on there. That's pretty rad. I watched that launch. Yeah, it shows all official and unofficial patches. Yeah, that's cool. Just keeps going and going and going and going. Nothing outlasts the Falcon 9. That's wicked, dude. Oh, whoa. You ain't kidding, man. Dude. That's freaking sick. Oh, man. That's the one that just launched. Cool. It's pretty rad, man. Check out 512. Oh, boy. That's pretty cool. That's also pretty cool. That's also pretty cool. I mean, that's cool. I like that. These are all pretty good, man. Cool. These are all pretty neat. Cool. All right. Fellas, that's I think that's gonna be it for the space news for the day. All right. Okay. 803 is a banger. All right, last one. Last one. Wolverine. Snicky, snicky, schnoinch. Snoochie boochies. It's pretty awesome. All right, I'm going to end up doing this for the rest of the night if we don't stop. All right, dudes. Wherever you see it, you see this space. Ooh, wait a minute. A little more on that suction test. He said moron. Engine test rad. Pump suck good. Suction performance testing involves getting the engine up to steady state and then slowly venting the propellant tank to gradually decrease pump inlet pressure until the pump begins to show signs of cavitation. When things go wrong, they go wrong fast. So far, so good. The sound is loud. I couldn't hear it because my headphones decide to shut off if I don't listen to sound for like 10 seconds. That's cool, man. The sound is loud. you guys didn't hear anything though, right? I didn't see the audio playback play anything. We've watched this video already. I was looking at Tom's explanation. They yeah, pretty good. Cool. All right, guys. We'll jump into after hours now. I hope you enjoyed space news. There wasn't that much in the news cycle today, but we're going to get some space news at 12:30 tomorrow. There's going to be a press conference with a Starliner update from NASA, so we will absolutely see what's going on over there. So space news is going to be more towards the beginning of the stream. Yeah. Is it workers' time? Is it workers' time? Oh, excuse me. It's 12:30 Eastern, so that's 30 minutes after my normal start time. You just want an excuse to play Workers and Resources. We did 3 hours of space news. We did 3 hours of space news yesterday. Tori replied to my apology. No way. You didn't say anything about why, right? Because that was just my opinion. No. Okay, yeah, that was just a theory, dude. I don't know for sure. Why are you being so mean to Tori Bruno, man? Stop it. Stop being mean to Tori Bruno. Stop it. Leave Tori alone. Oh, that's not you. That might be somebody else. Hold on. Let's see. It's the Tony one. Yeah, I gotta go find the thread. Donnie is being very mean. I know that guy. Donnie, stop being mean to Tori Bruno. Where's the damn thread? Why can't I find the stupid thread? You passed it again? Bro, I'm telling you, streaming makes you stupid. So confused. All right, you linked it. All right, cool. I'm so confused. Ah, Crane. Crane was in there. Hey, yeah, well, that's cool. I'm bombing though, Duel. There are other viewers in here that watch the stream that are actually being a jerk. Which sucks. Don't be a jerk to Tori Bruno, guys. Like, come on. He's a good dude. Like, I'm telling you, the guy's a great teacher. A great teacher, and, you know, I'd say He's done a fine job straddling the line between like defense contractor and rocket scientist and turning ULA around to profitability. I think he's done a very good job, dude. The guy, I got a lot of respect for that guy. Man, only one dude, can't fix them all. Well, yeah, all good, man. Yeah. Why are people mad at Tori Bruno? They're mad at him because of the space flight policy that ULA kind of rolled out, or the space photography policy, not space flight. Maybe you should invite him to be on NSF. He's been on NSF before. All right. Anyway. You should do that, Duel. Yeah, that's hilarious. All right. I'm going to flip us over to workers, dudes. I hope you enjoyed this space news. I will be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place for space news. And, yeah. Tomorrow, I'm just going to announce it again. Tomorrow after space news, we got my summer car.